International Crises Group releases scary predictions about Nigeria. The ICG has urged the EU to look into Nigeria's growing tension. It warned that attempt to evict the Igbos may lead to crises. It called for transparency on the issue of Buhari's health for the sake of accountability. A group, International Crisis Group, ICG, has called on the European Union, EU, to step in to address some of Nigeria's lingering issues in order to forestall serious danger and problem. Premium Times reports that the group in its report published on Thursday, July 20, called on the EU to step in as Nigeria was tottering on the brink of serious disaster, especially over the issue of President Muhammadu Buhari's health and the threat of secession. The ICG said, for the European Union, EU, which is already largely engaged in the Niger Delta and the Northeast, this means that it should also watch closely political, social and security developments in other regions in Nigeria, and work with other international actors to push for much-needed reforms that will address these challenges. Some of Buhari's northern and Muslim loyalists are ill-disposed toward Osinbajo, from the southwest and Christian. To address the growing tension, the group encourage transparency about the president's health as a matter of public accountability to dispel rumors of a northern conspiracy to keep him in power even if incapacitated. Send strong private or public messages to both military and regional political leaders, against unconstitutional actions, particularly military intervention, and press all parties to abide by constitutional provisions, particularly to achieve a smooth transition if Buhari is unable to continue in office. The group also addressed the issue of quit notice issued to Igbos, warning that any attempts to forcefully eject them may lead to serious crises, especially from militants from the Niger Delta region. Attacks against Igbos or other Southerners in the north might lead some Delta militants to target oil companies, either to pressure the federal and northern state governments to stop anti-Igbo violence, or to cover criminal activities. To prevent any outbreak of violence from the ethnic and tribal tensions, the ICG said the EU or its agents in Nigeria should encourage the government to strengthen measures to protect citizens, working with the military, police but also community leaders and associations. Engage with leaders of relevant southeastern, northern and Niger Delta youth groups, and organize forums with the goal of halting inflammatory rhetoric, withdrawing quit orders and publicly denouncing violence, and urge the National Assembly, federal parliament, presently divided over the 2014 National Conference report and its recommendations, to commence deliberations on suggested federal reforms that could help prevent conflicts and curb separatist agitation. Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady Aisha Buhari gave hints on the recovery of President Buhari. The First Lady, in a recent Facebook post on Monday, July 10, said God has finally answered the prayers of Nigerians concerning the health of her president. Speaking in riddle, Aisha also indicated that all enemies surrounding the presidency will soon be sent out. She said, God has answered the prayers of the weaker animals, the hyenas and the jackals will soon be sent out of the kingdom.